All right, testing, one, two, three, testing everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Telehealth Tuesday. This is your go-to podcast for insights on modern healthcare and wellness solutions. I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt, your host, and today, well, I guess yours truly is the special guest. That's what we have lined up for you. But before we get started, I would like for you all to know that your prayers have been felt. For those that know me personally, or even for those that have just seen our updates online about my mother's condition, she's doing much better. Again, thank you so much for the prayers. Again, I don't want to say too much because she's a private person, but we had some surprises there. That the devil was trying his best to thwart things, but the good Lord prevailed. Your prayers have been heard, and all of our prayers have been answered, and so she is already doing better. She's recovering, and we want to send a special shout out to all of you and to my Jenkins family back home in Orlando, Florida. And to each and every one of you that's been there and through the years. And like I said, those that know me, you know how close we are. And it's hard when you're helping to take care of a loved one, and especially when they're older, and folks get just a little bit stubborn when they get older. So anyway, but we won't say too much about that. But again, a huge thank you. And we'll do another update probably before the end of the episode. Now back to the script. I'd like to let you all know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms. Let's make sure that everything is going okay on Instagram. There we go. We are streaming live on Instagram at Heart of Music, HARDT, like it's spelled heart that way, Heart of Music. Also, we can be viewed. You can catch us on our YouTube channel, which is Dr. BTV. The word doctor spelled out DOCTOR, the letter B, TV. And also on our Facebook page, Michael Bookhardt, MD, MBA. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help support this amazing program. Now, since I don't have a guest bio to read, I just want you all to know just a little bit about the program. We started this program last year. This is episode 41. I can't believe it. We'll be at the 1 year mark soon. And so again, thank you for all of you all who have been there with us and supporting, even back when those old episodes when we were just sitting up against a white backdrop and the closet door and all that good stuff. So the good Lord has brought us a long way, but we got a long way to go. And so we couldn't do it without each and every one of you. So thank you again for that. So tonight's episode, we wanted to focus on, some of the things in the community, talking about BBLs and weight loss and all that good stuff. So if you are interested in that, if you have questions, which I know a lot of people do, they want to know what is a BBL, or who does it, who in town is doing it. So we have the answers. 1 second, bear with me. I'm going to pull up some things. So we're going to wait for a few more to come on in. We're waiting for a few more folks to come on in. Thank you all again for joining us. And again, we'll give another update regarding my mother and her condition. But again, it is positive, and so she is on the road to recovery. And so we claim that and we believe that. Let's see. One second here. Okay. All right. So if you guys are there, please say hello to us. We are here, even though this episode is about weight loss and BBL and all that good stuff. We are also here to answer any of your questions, whatever topic. This is an open forum. There's no judgment, and there's no such thing as any bad question. I see my family there. Big shout out to my cousin Shirley. Another shout out to Connie Daniels, all the way from the great state of Florida, my hometown of Orlando, Florida. Thank you all for joining us. And how's everybody else doing out there? I see Shawnice Copeland from Orlando, Florida, my classmate from the Dr. Phillips High School. Thank you all so much for joining us. We got Miles Thompson in here talking about weight loss. What you want to know, Miles? Tell us what's your question? Let's see. Y'all keep them coming. Thank you so much I really appreciate that. Thank you all for all of the prayers. They've definitely been felt. Trust me. And that's the good thing about the good Lord. Even when we don't deserve it, God is there for us. That's grace and mercy. And He is there for us. He hears our prayers. Sometimes, not to get too religious or anything, but sometimes we feel like, we haven't done our part. Maybe we haven't been tithing or whatever that is. But hey, that's grace and mercy that He's there. And it's never too late. It's never too late. Whatever it is that you believe in. All right. So let's get to the topic at hand. Miles is asking what exercises. So what in terms of exercise. So if you're talking about weight loss, so glad thank you so much. If you're talking about weight loss, so exercising, the best thing to do and the recommendation from our guidelines and from the American Heart Association, amongst others, is walking. Not even necessarily just too much of a brisk walk, but just at a regular pace and stride, making sure to, your arms are swinging and as you're walking to get in a good stride, get in a good balance. That is going to be so healthy for basically anyone. There's a few exceptions to that, people who are not able to walk, or maybe if you can't walk, then there's some other things you can do to help get that cardio going. But any type of exercise, as long as you're doing it properly, is better than none. Recommendation, at least 4 days a week, 30 to 40 minutes a day, 4 times a week is the recommendation. Every now and then it changes a little bit, but that is basically the recommendation. Thank you so much. Y'all keep on coming in. Keep those questions and comments going. But yeah, Miles, that's the thing that we basically tell most patients is that as long as it's safe, provided you don't have any significant cardiac issues, uncontrolled congestive heart failure, if you had recent surgery, or you've had recent cardiac stents and all this other stuff. But if you're basically a regular person or regular patient coming in and, have, maybe a few risk factors, but nothing limiting like that, then walking is always the answer. When it comes to more of the strenuous, like high stress, stuff, sometimes I'll defer things like that to some of our other brethren that have gyms and things in the local area. And speaking of that, Jonathan Bounds, I don't know if he's listening, but he's an amazing guy. He's got a wonderful gym right in North Jackson. Yours truly plans to become a member. Just haven't, found my way there. We always say we don't have time. I guess that's an excuse. So we just haven't found our way there. But yeah, people like Jonathan and other folks who are in that field, they can tell you a lot more details about that. So, but great question. Keep them coming. To those of you that are just joining, let me switch over to our Instagram page. We got some viewers on there. Want to say hello to everyone in Instagram land. Thank you all for joining us again. Welcome to Telehealth Tuesday. This is episode number 41. Believe it or not, 41 episodes, and want to just say thank you for tuning in. This is something that we don't get, we don't get paid from. This is just, out of the goodness of our hearts and all the guests that I've been blessed to have on here. Nobody's paid any type of incentive or monetary gesture. So people are just here to give back to the community. We want to be here for you all. And a lot of people, they just don't have, they just don't have the opportunity to be around medical professionals. Maybe they don't know any personally. Excuse me. They don't know any personally. They might not have healthcare insurance or whatever barriers that might exist. They're not able to. And so this is a forum that is, again, there's a judgment-free forum. There's no cost to be here. There's no subscription required. Now, we would ask that you at least subscribe to Dr. B TV, which doesn't cost you anything, but it helps to get our viewership up, keep things going on our way to likely, maybe becoming syndicated one day. We'll claim that and monetize. We'll claim that. But for right now, this is just a forum where we give back and we want to provide timely information to you guys. So we let a few other people come in, but keep your questions coming. Come on with it, Miles. I hope Thompson did that answer your question. I hope that helped. We can talk about. So some people say, okay, first of all, what is a BBL? I think most people know it is Brazilian butt lift. It's a cosmetic surgery procedure that enhances the shape and volume of the buttocks. Okay, by transferring fat from other parts of the body into obviously what where it's going. It involves liposuction to remove fat from areas like abdomen, thighs, flank areas, which is then purified and injected into the buttocks to achieve a fuller and more contoured appearance. So we had a show where I had Dr. North, who was gracious to be on here with us, and we also had my good friend Jasmine. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you, Jasmine. I know you're out there somewhere. Jasmine's always going to find a way to be in here and going to make sure to shift everything or at least draw a conclusion or some association to massage. But yeah, so we had that episode. I forget what number it was, but if you look for that, Dr. North's on there, Jasmine Briscoe, and we had a live model in there. And so Jasmine is a licensed massage therapist. Dr. North is a board certified plastic surgeon right here in Flowood, Mississippi, does remarkable work. So you got to check him out. Check out Jasmine Briscoe. And we talked all about that, and we let the plastic surgeon do the talking, of course. All right, we got a question here. From Connie, are there any natural remedies that can curb your appetite and keep off unwanted pounds because of perimenopause? Like, for example, apple cider vinegar or pink Himalayan salt. That is an amazing question, Connie. And yes, you are absolutely right. Apple cider vinegar, definitely. The problem is with these, when it comes to natural remedies, for the most part, in general, they're fairly hard. But there are certain herbs and certain things that are contraindicated or basically would, not be indicated for patients with certain things. There are certain natural remedies, certain herbs that could actually be harmful. So you always want to check with your healthcare provider first. But definitely, apple cider vinegar is good for so many things. Man, that's amazing. You need to get one of those big 1 liter bottles of that. But yeah, that's definitely the other thing. And on our show with Jonathan Bounds, we talked about, or he let everybody know, a lot of people do intermittent fasting, and then they'll say, well, I only ate 1 meal today, or only, but see, you got to think about it. Was that meal a big, huge bolus of food? Because that is still going to keep your blood sugar up. It's still going to cause a lot of bloating and discomfort, and you'll still not get the weight loss that you want. So what he educated all of us on is that it's better to eat even 3, 4, 5 small meals. Okay, we can do that, and just making sure that you're controlling the portion size. Because if you're having 3 or 4 small meals with small, responsible portions, that would even probably be in a caloric mindset. That the actual calories of that would likely be less than one huge meal. Saying, well, I didn't eat anything all day, and then they eat a huge bolus of food at the end. And especially that large meal might be late at night, and so now you're having issues with acid reflux and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, but hopefully that answered your question in terms of apple cider vinegar. Not as familiar with pink Himalayan, sea salt in terms of weight loss. But hey, it sure tastes good. So I don't think that that would be harmful to you, but definitely apple cider vinegar is great. And in terms of, the hottest things out, semaglutide, Ozempic, all those different things. There's pros and cons. There are pros and cons to that. We've got a lot of people that are coming up with different weight loss clinics sprouting up everywhere. Everybody wants to be a weight loss expert, and you have to be so careful with that. Okay. Let me switch over to Instagram. Hello to all of our new followers. Hello to everyone. I see we've got P5 Solutions in there. Lanika's there. We got a couple of new folks there. So hello from Instagram land. Thank y'all for joining us. Okay, that answered your question. All right, perfect. We'll take a quick pause for the cause here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. This is a place to be, a non-judgmental forum where we are providing free medical advice from different experts in all fields. A lot of people would ask, well, why have you had a comedian on there? What made you have all these different, people? We've had mental health therapists, we've had doulas, plastic surgeons, primary care doctors. We talked about mental health. We've had singers, we've had pastors, everything. And so I think somebody gave me a great idea when they said, hey, because of course we were going to do it like a traditional telemedicine show and just have medical folks on there. But someone said, well, there's so many different aspects to health. I said, you're right. That's a great point. And so then we started thinking about with comedy the Bible talks about laughter as a medicine. So we've had a couple of comedians on there. Nardo Blacktastic, that's his Instagram name, from right here, Jackson, Mississippi. Glozell Green, good friend of mine from Orlando, Florida, I think she has 5.5 million YouTube followers, something like that. She's interviewed President Obama. She's interviewed Oprah Winfrey, amongst so many other people. So all those different folks can provide healing in such a way, or they minister to different parts or different aspects of health. So not just traditionally where we're just talking straight medicine. But please keep your questions, comments going, and also let us know. This is really a free. This is a little bit different than our usual episode. Normally we'll have a guest on there. We'll go back and forth, and I'll have some prepared questions. But on this one, we said, you know what? We're going to switch it up a little bit, and let's just open it up so everyone feels comfortable. We can talk about anything related to health, whether it's depression, whether it's weight gain, whether it's weight loss, unfortunately, whether it's something like cancer, heart failure, anything. And so the time is yours. Oh, also wanted to do a quick shameless plug here. Here with Centerwell Jackson East, we will be doing a special doc talk. It's called Doc Talk tomorrow at Centerwell Jackson East location at 1220 Northside Drive. I got to look the suite number. I'm sorry, but 1220 Northside Drive. Let me get that for you. Hold on 1 second here. I want to be specific. Suite 220, Centerwell Senior Primary Care, okay? Jackson East Campus, the West Campus. Now, we just had a grand opening. We had people from the local legislature and that were there. A mayor was there to do the ribbon cutting. We appreciate him, and I appreciate him and his administration and what he's done for the city. Centerwell Senior Primary Care Jackson East Campus on 1220 Northside Drive, Suite 220. Be there tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we're going to have an amazing time. There's going to be, I know there'll be some form of snacks there. So let me not just say full food. There'll be snacks. We won't let you go completely hungry. There'll be a few knickknacks given away, possibly some door prizes. I don't know yet. But we're going to we're going to have a presentation. We're going to talk about what is primary care, what is Centerwell, and what can Centerwell Senior Primary Care do for you? And we're just going to have a great time and take your questions. There'll be a few things, a few surprises there. We're going to interject a few other topics and just talk about the importance of being there. And so one topic that I always present on when I go and have been invited to speak places is called an annual exam, or a trip or a ticket to the grave. The choice is yours. And what I mean by that is for folks who either don't have a primary care doctor or who believe that it's best to get all their health care at some emergency department. And that's no dig on emergency departments. We need the ER. We need the ER physicians and nurses, nurse practitioners, everywhere, everybody. good friend of mine and my frat brother, Dr. Fred Kinsey. Shout out to you if you're listening. He's an ER physician over at Baptist, and so we love everything that you do. But the whole purpose of primary care is preventive medicine. So that's what Centerwell Senior Primary Care does focus on, trying to make sure that you stay out of the ER, staying out of the hospital, and trying to optimize your health so that you can be the best you can be, that you can feel the best that you can feel, and have enough time during these appointments to actually talk to your medical provider, your doctor or your nurse practitioner or physician assistant. So anyway, we're going to be educating folks on that tomorrow, 9 a.m. at Centerwell Jackson East. Okay, also on Northside Drive, at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11. But our doc talk will be likely from about 9 to 9:30. After that, there will be some other things going on. They've got some amazing things planned. So please come on out and come see what's going on over there. So we'd love to have you. So, but that's what we talk about. Primary care is so important. A lot of folks say, "Yeah, I get all my care at the ER." The problem with that is that a lot of times there's going to be different staff, different nurses, different providers that don't know you. Okay, these folks don't know you. And so that's why when you go to your primary care physician or medical provider, I should say, these are the people that know you. They're going to most likely, not that they're, I think every provider is going to try their best to take great care of you, but the outcomes are going to be better with somebody who truly knows you. And so I want to, you know what? Let's go ahead into a little bit of that, right? Into my usual talk about an annual exam or a ticket to the grave. The choice is yours. One staggering statistic: African Americans are more likely to develop chronic illnesses and disabilities than any other, than most other ethnic groups in the United States, and they tend to experience them earlier in life. Some statistics on these health disparities include, we're talking about hypertension, which is high blood pressure, aka the pressure. We're talking about diabetes mellitus, specifically, not only type. People used to think about, well, type 1, type 2. Mostly we're talking about type 2. That used to mean type 1 was folks who, need insulin or don't have, and then type 2 was insulin resistant. Now you can still be folks that are requiring insulin, but still a type 2 diabetic, developing it a little later in life. And so diabetes mellitus, aka the sugar. All right. Strokes. African Americans nearly twice as likely to have a first-time stroke as white Americans. For example, 0.7% of Black Americans aged 18 to 34 have had a stroke compared to 0.4% of white Americans at the same age. Well, I got to pause there. That's 0.8 compared to 0.4%, just being African American compared to Caucasian. That's not even talking about all the other ethnicities that exist in the world. That's staggering. And so that is unacceptable. We got to do something about that. And how do we do something about that? That's why you need a primary care provider. Let's see. We've got a comment here that is coming in. Okay, let's see. Or joining. Turn back over to Instagram. Hello to everyone. Hello to Fancy. We see you joining. Thank you for joining us over there. Welcome to Telehealth Tuesday. If you don't know what Telehealth Tuesday is, well, you know now. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m., we're here Central Standard Time. I see Rod 1906. It's one of my frat brothers there. Thank you for joining us. So this is what we are. This is where we are every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for 1 hour. Sometimes our guests do go a little bit over, especially towards the end of the program. A lot of folks are having a good time, and we get a lot more participation towards the end. And so this is where we are, God willing. All right, I'm switching back. Yes, very important. Tessie Kidd, big shout out to you, my childhood friend. Thank you for joining. Very important. I learned the hard way, thinking that I was fine, but learning that I was in a hypertensive crisis last year. We're going to have to talk about that offline now, because you could have called me. But again, it's a judgment-free zone. We know now, thank God, your life was still spared, that you didn't have a heart attack, you didn't go blind, you didn't go on dialysis or have, a a stroke or anything like that. Those are the end complications to this. And so, but we praise God that you are here, alive and well, and able to join us on Telehealth Tuesday and give that. So we turn that into a testimony, Tessie. We got Big Mike on there, who's having a birthday. Big shout out to you, man. Uh, I'm glad you joined us, man. I don't know where you are, but big shout out to you. Um, let's see. She said, "Amen." So we're talking about that, and Mike, we're going to talk as well offline, but definitely it's just so important to have this done because, guys, the thing that breaks most of our hearts, breaks my heart personally, is that this is something that's preventable. And in this country, as developed as we are, the number one country in the world, developed nation, all those good things that we all like to brag about, people being proud of this country, or well, we need to be in all of this proud behavior. We need to say it's not enough to just say that and say, well, we're from the good old US of A and we're the best at this and that and all that. We need to actually use it. You've got all this sitting right there, but we're not using it. And this is even folks that have health insurance. And so, but yes, having your primary care provider is so important because that we want to keep you out of the hospital at all costs. That's the whole purpose of that. Let's see, 1 second here. We're getting a couple of messages coming in. Just 1 second here. Okay. Say amen. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see over the Instagram. So that's what that's the importance of it. Let's talk about a hypertensive crisis, right? You have hypertensive urgency and emergency. So we're talking blood pressures over 180, over 110 or greater. The difference is that urgency and emergency both have those same, but with an emergency, you start seeing evidence of end organ damage, meaning heart attack, stroke, person who's going into acute kidney injury, kidney failure, renal failure, possibly going into dialysis, things like that. Heart attack, stroke, blindness, dialysis, and even death. And so people talk about hypertension. She referred to a hypertensive crisis. All of those kind of, go along together. There's different terms. And the problem with hypertension is this, back in the day, it's been referred to as the silent killer. And why is that? Because it's not like you get any warning sign for that, right? Sometimes you just go into the doctor's office and next thing you know, your blood pressure is sky high and you never knew. Or you say, man, I'm always getting headaches in the morning or some point at night. I just thought it was regular, I'm always getting that. No, that's not regular, okay? It's not regular. Some people just chalk it up and blow it off, say, well, I've always had migraines. Well, no. We need to make sure to see your primary doctor or your provider because that could be your only warning sign until it's too late, until you have an aneurysm, stroke, something like that. So that's why we encourage everybody to go and make sure that you get checked out, make sure you find out what could be going on because a lot of this stuff is either treatable or even preventable. So that is the importance of it. So please come on with more questions, comments. We love audience participation. There's no such thing, at least on here. I can't say other places, but at least on this show, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Let's see. And so again, our topic tonight, we wanted to talk about and educate folks on, weight loss, BBLs. What is the blueprint for mind and body wellness? And that blueprint is, first of all, there are so many things that manifest themselves, from the way that, we think. And so there's a lot of people suffering from depression. In this country, there's a lot of people suffering from that, whether there's they go through holidays where they don't have family members. Maybe the family members have passed away, or there are people that live alone that are longing to have company, people that are either have lost their jobs There are those of us that have gone through that, and that's a tough thing. And even though people might see these people as somebody who's been on top, everybody sees you. You're the staple member in the family. You're the one who holds it all together. But sometimes those people need they need somebody to lean on as well. And so because of depression and especially after COVID, and so many people unfortunately died due to that disease, and amongst other things, that's left such a void in the country and the world. And so that depression, that anxiety, and all that stuff can manifest itself in so many different ways. And these things feel real to people. They are real. And so somebody who's, let's say, has a phobia of something, they're scared of something, they're anxious, they're depressed. This person is feeling real to them. They can come in with what we call tachycardia, right? Heart rates greater than 95 or 100, greater than that. That's because this person could just simply be anxious, could be scared. They might have nothing else wrong with them objectively, medically. But just because of that, that has already put them at risk for other medical conditions just because they are having these real symptoms, that end up ultimately becoming something objective that you can prove. Because if your heart is beating that fast, you can just kind of think about it. If your heart is just revved up, beating fast, almost like a car engine, you're constantly revving it up and doing that, it can't tolerate that for long. And so before long, you're going to start experiencing some issues from that. And so, that's why we talk about these things being real, people's feelings, and again, more than ever before, depression, anxiety has been something that has plagued the world and especially the United States for a very long time. But we saw so much of this, and even from employees or staff members, especially at the hospital, because there was nothing that healthcare providers, that there was nothing we could do, because a lot of people were either laid off or furloughed or whatever, but the healthcare providers were essential employees, so we never missed a day. And you can imagine seeing all this before we knew what it was. That did something to a lot of people. There were providers that actually committed suicide. And so I'm going into all this just saying how this ties into healthcare, because your feelings, your anxiety, depression, different things can really, really play a role in your actual healthcare, ultimately in your body, the way your organs respond. So that's how that ties in. So again, let's go back to our topics at hand. Where are my questions about weight loss and BBLs and all? I know y'all got some questions there. I know, because y'all can't be this quiet about that stuff. We've already talked about curbing appetite. We had some questions about that early in the beginning of the show. We also talked about hypertensive crisis. We've talked about what is primary care. We've also talked about the amazing event taking place tomorrow at Centerwell Jackson East, 1220 Northside Drive, at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Now, at this clinic, this is for Medicare patients and Medicare Advantage. Now, look, I don't get too far into the weeds, but as long as you have any type of Medicare, whether that's your primary insurance or supplemental, all that, you can be seen at any Centerwell clinic. But tonight, we're focusing specifically on Centerwell Jackson East, which is on Northside Drive. So keep the comments and questions coming. We want to talk about any topics that you all want to hear about, but mainly we're talking about how do we get fit and ready for the month of May. We're already here. It's May 20th, but we've still got, 11 days to go. There's still time in the month of May. Now, the other thing, Brother Clayton Barksdale, I want to get this right. Dr. Clayton Barksdale, my frat brother. Let's see. One second. I want to get this right, so I'm going to look up what he texted me about this. So I want you all to know, ladies and gentlemen, we had them on the show last week. We were featuring Dr. Clayton Barksdale. We had some other folks from the cast, with the director of this play that is going on, and we also had Famous Amos, which is somebody who I'm a huge fan of. and it was crazy that he's going to be in select plays that Dr. Barksdale is doing. It's going to be on one of the days. There's going to be two dates here. I don't want to get this wrong. I'm going to let you know, but it's called Mom, Where's Daddy? And so what we talked about last week with Dr. Barksdale and famous Amos was driving somewhere, but he graced us with his presence because that gentleman has over 1 million followers. He's in all these movies and with all these comedians and all this stuff. Big fan of Famous Amos. If you don't know who he is, Famous Amos So Funny on Instagram. But I wanted to give a big shout out to Dr. Clayton Barksdale. Mom, Where's Daddy is a stage play going to be Thursday, June 12th at 10 a.m. So 2 shows each day. Thursday, June 12th, 10 a.m. Thursday, June 12th at 6 p.m. And then Friday, June 13th at 10 a.m. and Friday, June 13th at 6 p.m. at Hines Community College, the Raymond campus, okay? That's 501 East Main Street, Raymond, Mississippi, okay? So make sure you don't, that if you can make it, you don't want to miss that. So we would love for you to support Mom, Where's Daddy, the stage play, powerful stage play that shines a light on the emotional impact of fatherlessness and the need for healing, mentorship, and hope. And this production is more than just entertainment. It's a movement rooted in social, emotional learning designed to help students and families process one of the most overlooked childhood experiences, which is parental absence. So, and again, it's not going to be a crying fest. It's not going to be anything like that. But this is something again, that's so important because when we have fatherlessness or even motherlessness, sometimes maybe there was a tragic situation where they didn't make it through childbirth. Mom gave the baby up for adoption. Mom is just simply not there, or something's going on. It's not always just fathers not being there, but this talks about how do we cope with that. It talks about issues in the African American community. I know sometimes we'll say, well, we don't need to be lectured on that. We don't need to see a play on something that I see in front of me every day. But this is going to be a different take on it. You're going to leave feeling better than when you came in, electrifying. So make sure to go see that. And you can just check the episode out on the archive on Dr. B TV. Just last week when we had that. So let's keep going with your questions, comments, even concerns. But let me know who you'd love to see on the show, or if you want to be on the show, let us know. We are open to that. We would love to see participation. So another topic. Let's go. So when it comes to weight loss, right? When it comes to being on, there's nothing. I tell all the patients there's no such thing as being on a fad diet, right? There's no such thing as just saying, well, basically anything that claims to get you 50 pounds down, 50 in like a month or two, that is going to be an unhealthy amount of weight loss. So you don't want to do that. There's anything that comes easy is going to leave easy. And it's probably going to leave you worse than, how you presented or how you came in. We've got a question comment from Octavia. Big shout out to Octavia. Hey, thank you so much for putting things together with Dr. Clayton Barksdale, myself, and the cast. We really appreciate you being there. I know that he gave a big shout out on there. We've also got, let's see here. I think we've got to take this one. So we'll message him. We've got our senators calling there. Let me see what's going on here. He may have some things to add. But yeah, thank you. But we'll give him a big shout out too. But back to you, Octavia. She says that I love the segment that you all did. I believe the play will be absolutely wonderful, and as do I. So again, please go and support. We'll be there in attendance, God willing. I'm going to try to catch the one where good old famous Amos. I think he's going to be on the Thursday show, I believe. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Octavia, you let me check with Clayton and make sure. I believe he's going to be on the Thursday show. But it's going to be amazing. It doesn't matter which day you go on there because we need to just support in our community. We need to support each other. But keep on coming with those topics, with those questions. What questions do you guys have? What you want to talk about? High blood pressure, losing weight, gaining weight, BBLs, what's safe, what's not so safe. Let's talk about it. Some people even, there's no question that's bad. Sometimes people even want to say, well, hey, what about if I like to smoke marijuana every now and then? We had a question on an episode previously, and also some patients I see in the clinic. They said, Dr. Bookhardt, what are your thoughts on marijuana? And I say, well, like anything else, if it's something that you're smoking, you're actually inhaling, coming into the lungs, that is eventually going to be damaging. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh man, you're stepping on toes, or this is natural. God put this here for me and you, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's natural. But a lot of times when folks get done, whatever, however they're doctoring it up and all that, it's not so natural. Now, if you're just doing straight up natural marijuana, okay, especially in the edible format, not smoking it, but the edible format, or some drops or lemonade and all that, and if it really helps you to feel better, to control your pain, hey, do you? There are people, I think it's more at that point when it's not necessarily harming your respiratory system, then you just have to look at certain other things. There's healing properties to it, but then in the wrong patient, there's other things that can be damaging, but overall, you just have to see how your body adjusts to that and how that might interact. Certain people, can't tolerate it, and it just doesn't. They don't tolerate it well. Their body doesn't interact well. And other people, hey, it takes away their pain. They're not hooked on narcotics. That's one big thing that a lot of people would say, well, at least I'm not hooked on narcotics. And that's absolutely true. One second. Sorry, 1 second. Let's see. I say hello to the senator. All right. So, but yes, thanks so much for that, Octavia. And please let Clayton know that we gave him a big shout out, that we are behind him. We are for him and his amazing team there. Okay. Jasmine, there you are, Jasmine. I was wondering, Jasmine. I knew you were going to be there somewhere. How does chronic pain affect blood pressure? I know you're going to tie that in the massage. I know you are. But chronic pain affecting blood pressure, great question. It affects blood pressure because, for example, let's say, so the most common chronic pain complaint in America is, ta-da. Oh, wait, let's do a music effect. What is the most common? Does anybody, let's get some audience participation. What do you guys think is the most common complaint regarding chronic pain in the United States? I'll wait. Ta-da! Let's see. Does anybody? Okay, I don't think. Let me. Before I say it, let's wait about 30 more seconds. What is the most common chronic pain complaint? Actually, just pain complaint in the United States. Joint pain, neck and back. Tessie, that's a great answer. But neck and back pain, low back pain. Okay, is the answer, but absolutely joint pain that's huge. So that there's really no wrong answer there. But that back pain that's it. You got it. So let's go back. So the question was, how does chronic pain affect? Oh yeah, Shauna, you got it. Absolutely. How does chronic pain affect blood pressure? So when you're in chronic pain, for example, your heart rate can be high, right? Because you're dealing with this chronic pain. It's making it more difficult for you to walk, for you to talk, for you to breathe. So a lot of times you're kind of, even depending on how severe, huffing and puffing, heart's kind of becoming tachycardic, as we say, heart rate's going over greater than 100. And then also when it comes to your blood pressure specifically, it can definitely be elevated because that chronic pain, like we said, when it comes to anxiety and all these other things, even that people can't see, like people can't see your pain on your chest or whatnot. They can't see it like, manifested on you. You're feeling it. But when you go to the doctor's office, they put the blood pressure cuff on and you're like, wait a minute, your blood pressure is 158 over 95. You're normally, 130 over 80 when you're here. Like, what's going on? And could it be that somebody is having issues, anxious, depressed, or could they be in such, significant pain? Um, and then the other thing is, I know people are going to say, wait a minute, women tolerate pain for the most part in general better than men. I'm gonna let that sit there. I want you to know that women tolerate pain in general better than men. So basically, when a female patient comes in complaining of pain and they are tachycardic, their heart rate is high, their blood pressure is up, for the most part, you know that this person, this woman, has got to be in some significant pain. A lot of times with the men, a lot of men will pass out with just, giving blood or getting a little blood at the doctor's office to, check some routine labs. And they we've had some men start crying and all kind of stuff. So, but yeah, either way, no matter what your sex or gender orientation is, pain is real, to that person. And so it can definitely elevate your blood pressure. All right, let's get to their point. And come on, keep them coming, folks. We're going to get to everybody rapid fire. Does pain tolerance affect the way that a doctor treats chronic pain? Well, that's an interesting question. Pain tolerance. So usually we try to say on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being almost no pain at all ever, 10 being the worst pain of your life, worse than childbirth or a kidney stone, for example. Some people say 10, and some folks will just be completely extra and say 12, 13, or 20. So, if it's a person who can, tolerate that, somebody who's normally never complaining of pain, I think it would be alarming to the provider. Say, oh my goodness, they never complain. So that provider might say, this must really be bad. But somebody who's always in pain, always wanting pain medicine, and always, nobody knows the trouble I've seen, woe is me kind of person, probably in the back of a provider's mind, they're like, oh, this is just, kind of like the usual run-of-the-mill thing for this person. They're always in pain. This is just being honest, folks. It's not trying to say that a person wants to knowingly discriminate against somebody, but let's just be real. Just because a person has letters behind their name, they're still a human being. And so I think that a person's tolerance definitely affects the way that the doctor can treat that chronic pain. And that's the reason why, you want to go to the primary care provider, because that person is going to know you, right? So that I would say the answer with that. All right. How would you suggest getting rid of stubborn stomach fat? And also, do you think counting calories is good? And if so, how many calories per day would you suggest? All right, Tessa, you getting your money's worth over here, right? No, thank you. Look, I'm joking. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the feedback and the question. So I think that's a threefer right there. Getting rid of stubborn belly fat. So as we get older, our metabolism changes. Also, it's different based on genders. Usually men have a different muscle mass, different metabolism than women on average. That doesn't apply to everyone. So stomach fat is really, really hard to get rid of, and especially if it is a female patient, and if, she's had children and things like that, and especially depending on her age, is a lot more difficult. So you'd have to focus on things that work on abdominal muscles. A lot of people think sit-ups, crunches. Those are good because, yes, they do train your abdominal muscles. But if you're talking about literally the fat that you can see, that is going to go away with more, your diet, improving your overall approach to everything, how you eat, because that is going to be a systemic, like a metabolic issue. There's no way to really necessarily, like, you can train your abdominal muscles and probably shave off some of the fat by doing, some significant crunches and exercises. But for the most part, the fat, the omentum, whatnot, is what you see. The omentum, which is, now we're getting into some anatomy. That is the apron of fat, as they say, my father would refer to, that is going to only go away with changing your diet and all those kind of things. So that's going to be a global change in your lifestyle, how you're eating. That's going to really change your overall fat composition of your body. But if you want to really focus on the abdomen, the abdominal, the stomach fat, there's different exercises to do, but it's going to be that fat right there is going to be just more difficult to lose than in other places. Also, do you think counting calories is good? Yes, it can be good. Personally, I don't suggest necessarily just going around and looking on the label like some people are really kind of a stickler for it in type A. Better there's like these Factor meals, okay, that are amazing. Factor, and this is not a plug for Factor. I mean, there's other companies. That's the only one that I've had where they deliver them to your house. Well, I used to get them from my mother, and she's been living with me, and they come to your door. They have like some dry ice little bags, and they're in a box. They get delivered to you, and you can choose which one you want. They've got however many meals you want per week. You can, if you just want one Factor meal a day, which would be 7 Factor meals a week, or you want 2, which would be 14 in a week, or 3, which would be 21. And there's a different savings each time you go up each tier. Those meals, I think on average, there's no meal that's over like 800 calories, 700, something like that. There were some that are like 450 calories, 500, 600, 700. And so you can do something like that instead of just counting calories. You know that by when I look on this, okay, 700 calories. So you put 700. And so your limit, like a diabetic diet, if you're being aggressive, 1,800 kilocalories, right? Or you can do 2,000 or 2,100, 2,200. Those all can be different diabetic diets. And then you can just Google that. There's a cardiac or heart healthy diet. There's diabetic diet. And then diabetic diet has more subcategories, 1,800, 2,000, 2,100, 2,200. So you can do it that way. But if you're truly just getting the meals from companies like Factor or whoever, they've already been counted. The food has already been portioned for you. So, and then if so, how many calories per day would you suggest? I would say, starting off, let's say 2,000 calories, right? That sounds like a lot, but think about it. If you got fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and something. Let's check it out right now. Let's check it out. How many calories is a plate of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and greens? So they said that's 800 calories, and that's Google, but it might be, plus or minus, because we got to think about it. Think about the portion sizes that we're doing, right? The portions. This is no normal portion size, okay? It might be Mississippi portions, okay? I'm just joking there. So that's what the calories I would suggest starting at 2,000. It's easy to get, because Google even just said 800. I really want to say it's more than that, 900 or 1,000, because even when you go into the steakhouses here, or Longhorn and all that, the chicken that everybody likes, the cheesy chicken thing, somebody help me out there, whatever that chicken Parmesan, whatever it is, it's delicious. I believe that's 1,100 calories. Somebody help me on the menu, 1,200, and that's just one meal. You see what I'm saying? Your next meal, you're over 2,000. So I would say 2,000 starting there, and then hopefully your goal will be 1,800 in a day. Okay, neck and back joint. Mom said back pain or mother. So again, for those of you that saw the update we put on there, mother's doing better. She's even on the show and commenting, so you know that she's doing better. Mom was hospitalized. We literally just left Orlando, and that was a huge concern of mine and scare. We literally just left, and she was been hospitalized. But praise God that she has been delivered. God is working. All of your prayers are being felt. These prayers have been answered, and we really, really appreciate all your support. And I know it's genuine. And thank you for that, because she's of 2 parents. Father's already passed, so she's it. So, all right, man. Is that Dennis Ross over there? What's going on, brother? Are you still on here, man? We got the Dennis Ross, man, if you're still on here, brother, we appreciate you tuning in. Producer to the stars, man. Thank you for. I'm not even gonna go on the credits of people he's played keyboards on and produced records for. We we got to catch up, brother. Let me know if you're still on here, man. Let me know. But big shout out to you and your folks. I saw your folks at Oakwood Alumni, man. But by the time I got over there, I think, man, they're still moving faster than me, man. They got up at the embassy, the usual hotel there, connected to the Von Braun, and they were already up and gone by the time I made it there. So big shout out to the Ross family. Jasmine, does obesity affect the way a doctor can diagnose and treat pain after a car collision? It's interesting. The obesity affecting the way a doctor can diagnose and treat pain after a car collision. Well, I would say a car collision is very difficult just at baseline because it is a car collision, obviously. So you can have different things, right? You can have contusions, rib fractures. You can have cervical, spine, neck injury, head injury, blunt trauma, globe injury to your eyes, all kind of just terrible things that happen in a rollover. Or it can be a person who's minimally injured, maybe one broken rib and that's it. Maybe no broken rib, maybe a fractured pelvis. So car wrecks and all that are very difficult to treat, very difficult. Because, and again, nobody knows the extent of somebody's pain. So, but your question is, does obesity affect it? I'm just thinking on top of my head, obese, if somebody's really large, you just can't even really get to being able to, examine the rib. Like if somebody's that large and that much adipose or fat tissue, you might not be able to even palpate or get to the area where you're trying to feel. You might not be able to feel the ribs. And, we're not being funny here, but that's the danger of being, overweight, being morbidly obese. And unfortunately here in Mississippi, that's one of the things is he challenges us here because this good, tasty food and heavily salted food, pork and a lot of things, it tastes good. Now, look, it tastes good, okay? But a lot of things, and then even just the knowledge base, a lot of people just not aware that this is doing harm to them. So that's why folks being so obese, especially in the South, not just Mississippi, okay? We're talking about Georgia, we're talking about Alabama, we're talking about all that, Louisiana, definitely. So obesity can definitely affect it because it can make it difficult for you to actually diagnose properly and physically examine somebody. So yeah. All right, let's move on through because I got to get caught up on all these questions. Thank y'all. Keep them coming. Jasmine says wood therapy. Okay, I knew you were going to get it back to Masai. I knew you were going to relate it to wood. Wood therapy works well on stubborn fat combined with MLD and a balanced diet. I don't know what MLD is, but because you're amazing, Jasmine, I'm going to go with it. Okay. So wood therapy, if you don't know Jasmine Briscoe, one of our biggest supporters and contributors, please make sure to see her. She's in Clinton. We haven't talked about her location in a while, so I assume you're still in Clinton. But please see Jasmine Briscoe. Let's see here. Let's see. So somebody said it's so delicious. So I don't know if you're talking about all those good fried chicken or something like that I was talking about. Dennis Raw, man, hey, I appreciate you, brother. He said, Dennis Ross says, I'm here, man. So proud of you, man. Your father was great, and now you, man. That means the world to me, brother. That means the world to me, man. I really appreciate that, bro. We really got to catch up, man. I mean that. You know how people say that, man, when they're like, all these folks are like big time and, it's, oh yeah, man, we got to, but we're always moving so much and we just don't stop. But I mean, that's what, for me, 2025 is, been a big time to reflect and really center and refocus. And, even through the personal challenges I've had and decisions I've made and that have not been good and things that surprise me about myself. We just have to continue to strive and work and strive and being better, moving forward and, just being better people, man. Life is short And you can't take back the things that you've done, even if you want to. So we can't wallow in it. I think a lot of us have done that, before, but we just got to learn from it and move forward. And that's hopefully what 2025 is going to be for a lot of you guys, man. And but man, I really appreciate that. I'm checking DM. I'm gonna check it, man, because we gotta do that, man. Love you back, brother. Yeah, love you back. Uh, Jasmine says manual lymphatic drainage. Okay. Oh, MLD. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much, man, for joining. This has been great. Y'all have me worried a little bit now because it was a little. I said, man, where are you guys at? But I know at the end, usually folks will join us at the end, and we'll get a great surge and a barrage of questions. So, keep them coming. We're on here. Well, I guess we're 2 minutes over. If you guys have any other questions or comments, hey, we'll hang on for 3 more minutes. Okay, we'll hang on for 3 more minutes to 8:05. Shout out to I see Pierre Docs on there on Instagram. You guys are still on, man. Big shout out to David and Ardare and Pierre and their tribe of children. I don't know how many children are in a tribe. Definitely more than 3. They're over 3 now. But no, I'm just joking, man. Love you guys. Thank y'all for joining. We see a few people building the Instagram, following Instagram audience, definitely coming up, and we appreciate that. I'm glad y'all can see us on there because I guess you can see us because on my end, I'm just seeing the countdown time. It froze. Let's see. I want to make sure they can see. I see you all joined on there, but I don't know what you can see. Manual lymphatic. All right, Jasmine, you got one other question, comment, Jasmine? Thank you all for, by the way, Tessa, Kid, Dennis, Ross, man, everybody, all those who are there, and even the new folks. I see I got you. Okay, I got your message there, Dennis, waiting. All the new folks, I want to let you all know before we. I see Cordell. There you go, brother. Cordell? Can you see us, man, on Instagram? Can you see us representing for our line, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, 1906. Big shout out, Sigma Sigma Lambda, Clinton, Mississippi. So Cordell is my deuce. So we appreciate you joining, man. Can y'all let me know if y'all can see on Instagram if you can see it. So Jasmine, anybody out there in good old TV land? I see some. We're still seeing several people in here. If I'll take one more question, the last question, a comment, whatever it is. Come on, thank y'all for your support. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick ending here, let you know where we can be found. And if a question pops up, we'll take it. We've got, 60 more seconds. Okay, guys, 60 more seconds. Big shout out to Senator Horn there, showing his support and send a message to us. And we want to show love to him. And congratulations on your victory. There's still a general election to go, so we'll hold it there. But we know that you did go. You just had a huge victory recently. We support everyone, of course. There's not necessarily any favoritism towards any candidates, but we do know that all these gentlemen love the city of Jackson, Mississippi, and whoever the next mayor will be. We've got an idea who it will be, but we are hoping and praying, wishing the best for all the candidates. But thank you, Senator Horn, for being a big supporter. And we've also been on your show. You've been on our show. So thank you for that. All right. In closing, I just want to let you know where Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed. You all can see us on Dr. B TV. That's Dr. The word doctor spelled out, DOCTOR, B, the letter B, TV. And you can see us also on Instagram, Heart of Music, HARDT of Music, and also Michael Bookhardt, MD, MBA on Facebook. Also, Jasmine Briscoe, Quick Fix LLC in Clinton, Mississippi for professional bodywork, LMT 2540. Invest in self-care, Jasmine. I agree. So, again, and I'm glad you put that. So, if you want to do non-invasive bodywork, make sure to see Jasmine Briscoe, okay? Thank you all again for being here with us. This is a place where we treat mind, body, and soul. Again, we thank you. We're here each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 to 8 p.m. Normally on time, but every now and then we might start a little bit late, technical issues. We might end a little late, but the message is going to be the same. We're going to have a great time. Amazing guests. You never know who's going to show up. So thank y'all for spending this 1 hour with me. You could be anywhere else, but you chose to spend that time right here on Telehealth Tuesday. Thank you. So tomorrow, 9 a.m., Centerwell Jackson East, 1220 East Northside Drive, Suite 220. Be there for the Doc Talk at 9 a.m. from 9 to 9:30. Well, 9 to 11, but the Doc Talk from 9 to 9:30 specifically. So we'll see you next week. Always remember, we're here for you. If there's anybody you want to see, contact us, DM us, email us. Anybody you want to see on here. If you want to be a guest, if you have any comments, or questions, or even concerns, send them to us. We're happy to hear from you. So thanks again. Have a great night. We'll see you next Tuesday, God willing. And remember, true wealth begins with good health.